let me share my screen with you and I'll get started. If you're on the call at the beginning, I introduced myself. I'm Lexi. I work with our track and field and running coaches. I have a background in running and track and field specifically, and I've been with Onform for 2 years, and I love connecting with coaches like you guys. So it'll be cool to kind of see how you guys might be able to use this with your running instruction. And I'll kind of show you basically what Onform is, what we do, and hopefully how it can help your coaching. So to start, I'll kind of go through what we're going through today. So I'm going to go through what is Onform. So basically, just a brief overview before I kind of dive in and show you. We're a video analysis app. You can download it on your phone, your iPad. I do recommend an Apple device because we have functionality on our Androids right now, but we developed towards Apple devices. So I recommend using a phone or iPad. You can download and use the free trial too after this. So we have a 2-week free trial. You can play around with it and kind of see for yourself. But basically, what we do is we allow you to record in the app. You can record your clients. With a coaching account, you get to invite as many students, athletes, clients that you would like, and they join for free under your account. So it offers that benefit of being able to kind of manage your clients through the app. They get to utilize it. They can record videos within the app. You can mark them up, send them a voiceover, and send them that feedback, all directly through the app and in one space. So if you're already doing video analysis right now, a little bit in your practice, this would be a good way to level that up, and just kind of give you some more tools to help your clients. I'll kind of jump into my screen sharing. So I'll show you guys the app and kind of what it does and go through all of that. I'll stop for questions here and there, but we'll have questions at the end as well. So you can see here, just getting started. This is what the app looks like. You can see at the top here, I have been using Onform forever. I have 25,000 videos in here, so it's kind of crazy, but basically we're cloud-based. So this isn't going to take up too much storage on your actual device. That's one of the huge pros of Onform is that basically you do everything in the app, and we optimize your storage by uploading the videos to the cloud. So although I have so many videos in here, it's not taking up too much on my actual device. And then jumping into kind of that client management and how the app would work and how you guys would set it up. So I'm going to go through kind of the setup process. I'll dive into some of the tools, and then we can go from there. So you can see on the left-hand side, I have a few different options here. I have teams that I've created. So in my time as an athlete, I had a whole track team in here. For you guys, this maybe would make sense if you ever work with more than one client at once. That might not be the case for you. I understand it's typically one-on-one, but you could also think of this as a space to maybe add a client and their parent or whoever else might want to oversee that workspace. If you and another coach work together, you could always create a team with multiple people. And then here we have our individuals. So these are people that I've invited. These would be your clients. Basically, all you do here is you'll press this plus button and you can send an invite to anybody to join the app. So I would click that. I'm going to say this is client A. You can change that sport. We could go to running maybe. I scroll through here. You can see there's a few different options in here for their role. We have coach, assistant, runner, student, parent. So it's different for whoever you're inviting to the app at that time. But we can just press add person and we'll send them an invite. If you're working with somebody and you're setting up their profile, you can actually just create this invite and tell them to download the app and then show them this 5-digit code if that's easiest. You could also email it to them or text it to them. it's going to look something like this. So it's going to instruct them on what to do, how to download the app, and how to connect with you. So once they type in that code, they will get access to the app, and you'll see there is a profile created for you and that person. This is where everything happens. So this is where you'll record them, where you'll analyze videos, chat with them. There's also an option in here for them to book a lesson with you. So if you guys use some type of lesson booking website or you have your own website for, you could pull that into the app, and you can see if I click that, I have my calendar linked here. So it's kind of convenient. Your client can just go into the app, and next time they want to schedule a session with you, they can go to your link there. This note section as well, this is a private note section. So if you want to keep any tabs or keep any notes about your client, you can put them in here. They won't be able to see any of that. And then this is your library. So you have a library between you and each person. So this is where you'll record. I'll show you really quickly. If I just press the record button, it's going to function similarly to your iPhone. But you can see that has just saved in the library. So now every time client A comes in, I can just click into their workspace, find all of their videos in one place. This is also where you'll share the video. So you can see in here, it's default private. You can always switch that to default shared. That just means which files do you want to be visible to that client. Some people prefer to only share small, like certain videos with their clients. They don't want to share every single video they take. So you could keep it on private. And then to share it, I could just long press on this, press share, and I can send it to my client. This could be after the session, and you can send a little message. This is your analysis from today. So once I share that, it'll appear in our chat, and they'll have the opportunity to respond back. So you can also communicate through there as well. I'm just going to pause here. I'm going to go into some of the tools, but I just want to see if there's any questions so far. Danny?
You're on mute.
Yeah, okay. So I have a question. So you're doing this on my screen, but I'm trying to do it at the same time on my phone. I already have Onform, but when and I can see the place at the top where I have a choice of selecting, you know, let's see, let me get back there. Hold on. Okay, where it says has files shared and there's so many private and this library is default private. So on my phone, I don't see where I click and this sidebar pops up that you've got where the home sidebar pops up. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah, so you should see something like this, like a little box. It's like a
Oh,
five.
I had to go back to home. I see. I can't get to it right from my place where all the videos are stored.
Yeah,
So I
and
go,
the view might be different on your phone. So I'm on my iPad. It's just going to it's going to be oriented a little bit different.
okay. All right. So if I go to my library and I see, so I've done this without setting up separate clients with every video that I do. So I'm going to have to go back and set up clients. And then is there a way to drag those videos into their file?
Definitely. So, for everyone who is getting started, I do recommend setting up those client workspaces first thing. But
Yeah.
if you haven't, no worries. You can, so your videos are probably in your all files right now.
Right.
The all files is basically a compiled camera roll of every single video and every single folder. So,
Mhm.
um, in general, when you guys are using it, I recommend recording in those client workspaces just to keep things organized. But you can always select and share or move or copy a file. So If I press share down here, I can go select who I want to share it with. If I long press on it as well, I can say move file, copy file. So different options to be able to move.
Oh, okay. And if I move file, then I can click on the library where all the files are and set up a client there and put it in, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. All right. Good.
Cool.
Let's see. Let's
Yeah.
see. Okay. Um, and your students or clients can actually videotape themselves through Onform so that we get it directly. Is that correct?
Exactly, yeah. So if you're working with, let's say, client A, they have this same view on their library, minus that note section, because that's private to you guys. But so they'll see chat, library, book lesson, and then they have this record button. So when they open up Onform, they're just going to see that one library that you created for them. They'll click into that and they can start recording in there as well and sharing to you. Um, there's also within the chat area, you can record directly in there. So if I press this record button, um, also, let's say they recorded on their phone and they forgot to record within the Onform app. It's a little easier if they did record in the app, but no problem if they didn't. You can always import a file. So I can import from my camera roll, from my files. Same thing in the library. So I can just press import, camera roll, and they could pull that in. So if we just click in here, I would select a video. We're going to keep that original date and you'll see that just pulled in.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, I'll hop into some of the video analysis tools and then I'll stop again and we can kind of go through any questions there. So once we have those libraries created, let me show you an example team that I have here. So um, this is what it would look like. You have a video of a runner. On here, we have a treadmill. You can record at any angle that you prefer. But we can play through the video. There's different scrolling adjustments in here. So this makes it really easy to go frame by frame just by dragging here. It's going to be a little bit easier to kind of slow down that video than your iPhone camera. Um, Down here is the frames per, um, also a frame adjustment. So if you click this, you can see each frame. And then on the bottom left, we can change that speed. So we can put that all the way into 1/8 x speed, or you can speed it up. It's going to slow it down, speed it up, everything like that. Up here, you'll see on your phone, it'll also be on the top. It's a person icon. So if I click on that, it's our skeleton tracking tool. So I'm going to click on that really quick. I had deselected some points of the body. So now you see it on the entire body. Basically, what this does is it's going to follow the body as it moves. You are not actually able to manually alter the skeleton. This is picking up on the shoulders, elbows, knees, hips. It's just a visual tool. I think it can be helpful for different scenarios. You can see these elbows are showing different angles as well. So if I click on the skeleton, this menu appears. I can turn on and off different segments of the body. I can click on different joints and find those angles. So I just turned on that knee joint and you can see that on her left side there. Um, so what I recommend when you use this is just make sure that you're close to the subject and that you have a good view because if it's further away or if the camera's moving a lot, it's going to be a little bit harder to pick it up. That's our only automated tool, really. Everything else is kind of hands-on and how you want to utilize your knowledge and what you look for in videos. So I'm going to turn that off really quick and then I'll go into our manual markup tools. So this pencil tool is kind of your drawing tool menu. If I click into any of these icons, you'll see even more will appear. It's saving the last 5 tools that I used, but if I click in there, you can see we have lines, arrows. This is an angular tool. So I can draw different angles here. Um, you can adjust the colors, thickness, font. You can place text on the video. And then this one here is another opportunity to draw maybe a different angle. This is the best view to be doing that for. I'd maybe want to look from the side for this, but kind of get the idea. You can draw and mark up this video however you would like.
I didn't see how you got to the pencil tool.
Oh yeah, so if I just click in the top right here, there's that pencil icon. And then on your phone, it should look pretty similar. It should be in the top right as well. If you want to save any of these markups that you do, and this is gonna be really helpful for you guys sending that feedback or some take-home material for your clients, you can actually do a voiceover and it's gonna record your voice, it's gonna record the screen. You can even customize it by putting your image, so it's gonna turn on the front camera. And so as you're marking up the video, it's gonna capture your face, your voice, and your markups. So if I click this record button, it's a microphone, I can select between recording the screen and my microphone or just the screen. So if I click screen and microphone, I'm gonna begin marking this up and maybe play through the video a little bit. And I'll press stop, screen and microphone. I'm gonna begin marking this up and maybe play through the. So you get the idea there. It's just going to save everything that you do, those markups, the video, and if you'd like your camera on there as well, it will do that. You can title this, so we could say maybe this is today's date. So I'll press save. You can actually trim that video down if you would like. And then there's also an option to pause while you're doing that screen recording so that if you want to maybe go find a specific tool or sometimes it's hard doing it under pressure when you're already recording, you can always pause it and then start it again. But basically, you'll see that save as an entirely new video in the library. And then I can choose to share that with my client. So if I click in there, you'll see that video saved. Another really simple tool, but I think it's really helpful, is our side-by-side comparison tool. So this is great for tracking progress maybe, or maybe two different repetitions. If I select two videos, I just press select, and then I'm going to click the two that I want to compare. I actually have two angles here of the same runner. You could also do this of two of the same angle to compare. But basically, I can drag and adjust each side. So maybe I want to link these up on while she's striking the ground with that right foot. And then I can press link up here on the top right, and those videos will play simultaneously. This can be really helpful. I think most of the time you would want to do a comparison from the same angle. But just in this scenario, I have two. And then kind of going off of that, we have the ability to record from multiple angles as well. So if you actually are working in person with a client, this is a great setup. Basically, you can open Onform on two devices and then the two angles will sync together. So I would just open and record on my phone and my iPad. I'm going to click record here. And I switched one of them to auxiliary cam mode. I just opened my phone here and now you can see I have two different angles of the same thing. So I could press record and it's going to capture those and save them together. Let me show you kind of an example of how I've done it. It's a little hard to demonstrate in my office, but this here is kind of how I set it up on a track one day. I just put my iPad down by the athlete's feet. So it's recording that right-hand view. And then I'm standing there pressing record and you can see those are perfectly synchronized. So if you ever want to try to set that up or just capture multiple angles, we have that ability. I'll pause here again for some more questions because I just went through a lot of the tools if anyone has anything so far.
Hmm.
Michael?
I always have questions. Um, the if you could demonstrate the runner at the same angle and put one runner on top of the other, so to speak. In other words,
Yeah.
just to show everybody that ability to do so. Um, I've done it. It's kind of hard to do it, from 6 months ago and from today, so to speak, and have them superimposed upon each other. But I know it can be done, um, and that's one question or one request. But the other question is, um, well, go ahead with that, and then I'll ask my other question.
Okay, yeah, I'll show that really quick. So what he's talking about is doing a side-by-side comparison. So I just went over to this library because I know I have two videos here of some sprinters. I don't have two from the same angle on a treadmill right now, but if I were to select this video and press compare, um, you can see my markups were on there from last time. Basically, you'll want to sync them up. So I'm just going to drag and adjust this side to when he is about to start running, and then this guy as well. So these aren't perfectly the same angle. You can see the first video is angled a little bit differently, but you'll get the idea. So I'm going to link them together by pressing this link button. And then you can also see these two boxes. This is the overlay tool that Michael was talking about. So if I click on that, it's actually going to put these two videos on top of each other. Since those angles weren't perfectly from the same angle, you can see they're a little bit different here. But I'm just dragging back and forth on this line here, and I can go back and forth between the two videos. And when I play those videos, you'll see them playing on top of each other. So since these aren't perfectly lined up, I can actually pinch and drag one of the videos to bring it in and a little more similarly to one of the videos, but you can see that's kind of how that would work, and you can go back and forth there. Um, if you can imagine, it would be a little bit better if you had like a stationary camera and had that same angle twice, but that's how you would do that
Yeah.
overlay function.
And then the question I had, Lexi, was on the skeletal view. I find that really helpful when somebody is running toward me or running, away from me, and I
Mhm.
put the skeletal view on, and I look at the shoulders, the angle of the shoulders and the pelvis. And I guess my question is how, so you're, I guess, estimating where the joints are. So if there's, um, a perfect angle, or if one hip or shoulder is higher than the other, how accurate would I be correct in telling that athlete that their right hip or right shoulder, they're a little asymmetrical, so to speak?
Yeah, I would say so. I think use it with caution always because AI isn't perfect. We know that. But you can see even in this video, I just turned on the skeleton and her hips are a little bit asymmetrical there as she's stepping down. So you can see that move as she moves. There's something to note here too about clothing. So if someone is wearing a lot of clothing, it might pick up a little bit differently there just because it's not seeing where the actual joints on the body are. But I think like as you go through the course of the video, you can see her hip movement, her arm movement, and it's picking up on it really well. So I think just being cautious about how high quality your video is. If you're not shaking or tilting the camera, that's gonna alter it a little bit as well. So hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Well, I'm going to jump into some of the recording now. So we have different functions for recording. We've kind of gone through the analysis tools. I showed you a little bit with that multicam option that we have. But just generally, we do have more settings than your normal iPhone or iPad. So this is going to help you record the best videos that you can. You can give some advice to your clients as well when they're recording, maybe have them use a tripod or something stationary if they're recording themselves. But right above the camera icon, we have frames per second. So this is going to allow you to really slow the video down if you put it in a high FPS. Note that for 240 frames per second, we have a 1 minute maximum. So if you're wanting to capture a video that's longer than that, I would put it a little bit lower, just because that file size is going to be large. So we cut that off at a minute. Generally, I think 60 to 120 FPS is totally fine. I have some sprint coaches using timing tools, trying to time reps, and they'll use 240 frames per second there. If you're wanting to time like ground contact time or something like that, then put it in a high FPS. But we have that different adjustment there. My iPad has ultra wide mode. It has 3 cameras on the back. Some of them don't. So you can see right now it's an ultra wide, but if I switch that to standard, it's going to be quite zoomed in. Um, Above that, we have our shutter speed. So what this does, I don't know if you noticed in that video of that runner on the treadmill, but there was a little bit of motion blur. So this is going to help reduce that motion blur. Basically, if I increase the shutter speed, it's going to darken the video a little bit. I can manually brighten the isometrics as well if I would like. The ISO, not isometrics. But we should be able to kind of adjust that and just see, it's going to reduce blur in the video. I would play around with this in different settings. It's going to be different inside versus outside. And you can always reset it if it looks a little funky and then kind of go from there. This is your front and back camera, so you can record from the front or the back. And then we have live markup tools as well. So this is the same drawing tool menu that I showed you before, but you can do them live as you're recording the video. So if you want to maybe draw some lines here and demonstrate something to somebody as they're running, this could work well. I've seen coaches maybe as they're recording, they'll also screen share their iPad to a TV in front of a runner or something like that. But that's where that can be helpful. And then on the left-hand side here, we have tags. This is going to help you guys keep your videos organized. So if I click on this tag, you can see I've already created a bunch of different tags here. You can always create a new one. So we could say this is sprint 1 or something. Basically, once I record that video, it's going to be saved with sprint 1. And then when I go into my library and maybe I want to find that video later on, I can search for all videos that are tagged with that tag. So when you start to accumulate a lot of videos, this is going to help you go back and find them. So if I click up here to search, I can search for sprint and that will appear. Same thing on this side. So this is going to tag who is in the video. So the only person in my library is Sammy T. So that's the only person appearing here, but I can tag them before I record the video. You can see it asks if I want to share it with them. I could choose not to and then do it later. But when I record that video, it's going to be saved with that sprint tag, and then it's also going to be saved with sprint or with Sammy T. So again, that makes your video searchable later. You can always take it further and also give it a title. So if I long press on that, I can title it and maybe put today's date again. So I just have that saved. So all of those things will just help you kind of find your videos later and search for them. Lastly, there are a few different things in here that I haven't shown you. So up here, this was your all files that we talked about. This is reference content. You guys might not have anything in this folder. We've provided some reference videos for track and field, but you can use this library as your own reference content folder. So if you have drills or specific running technique or something like that that you want to keep stored and easily accessible, you can import those in here. This can act as like a personal library for you. And then this is your notification center, recent activity. So this is where you can see when your clients are sharing files with you. You can see when they watch their videos that you've sent them, when they've joined your team, when they've messaged you. And you can choose to turn these notifications on your phone as well so that you can kind of see when people are messaging you as well. So just kind of a way to manage your workspaces. All right, that was kind of a lot. Is there any questions on any of that? Gary?
Yeah, with regard to the automated analysis, I think I got this tip from one of the other instructors. So jump in if you were the person who told me this. But if you can get, and one of the things I noticed was that the AI changed its mind about where the runner's hips were at certain frames. Okay. And one way to that I would that I, that have been used to account for that just in manual running and or manual analysis is to get a bunch of big orange dots, 1 inch in diameter, and have the person stick them on their joints, right? And
Yeah.
then you're not fooled about changes in their clothes and things like that because they're always stuck on their, as long as their clothes are not jumping up and down. And I was wondering, is there any way to get the automated thing to follow certain tracking? You see this a lot in video movies and stuff like that, about how they're doing CGI kind of things. Is that possible to do with the automated stuff, or is it still not?
Yeah. Not currently, where you're not able to maneuver the dots or the skeleton at all, but that I actually have heard this from lots of gait analysis and running coaches. So definitely it's kind of on the radar for our team to be able to maybe pick a point to follow. We're making some big developments with the golf swing and like club path tracking. And how that relates to this is that we're training the AI to be able to find a point and follow it. So hopefully that will translate over to this in the future, maybe in the next year or so. But right now, it's strictly like there's nothing that you can necessarily maneuver with the skeleton. Anything else from anyone? We can kind of open it up now, like for Q&A or price. Or I was going to go into a little bit of pricing as well. Basically, to subscribe, you can subscribe directly through the App Store. It's $29 a month or $2.99 a year. I'm happy to offer a cheap running like 10% discount if that works for you guys. But basically, that would be on the yearly subscription. So it would be $269 a year instead of $299 a year. That's kind of our bulk discount rate right now. So happy to kind of give that to anyone who's interested later. You have my email, and you can reach out to me and I can get you that discount on it. Also, if any of you download it and start to use it and have questions, or you want to go through kind of another demo with me on your specific use cases and kind of how I can help with that, I'd be happy to schedule that with anyone as well. But if there's any other questions too, I'm happy to take those now. And then if not, you can always think of them later and send them in my email.
Hey.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do our clients need to have a subscription to be able to like look at their videos and stuff?
No, so they actually, I didn't mention this, but you can actually share the videos out of the app externally as well. So if they don't end up downloading the app, you can share it to them out of the app. We don't keep the videos stuck in here. But if you have a coaching subscription, your clients get to join for free. So they're once they get an invite code from you, they get to utilize the whole app, and you can share videos through there. If for some reason, let's say they don't download it, or you want to share externally, I could always, you can see these three dots here. I'm going to click on that. I'll press share. You'll see it wants me to share within the app. So it's asking me who I want to share it with. But I can also, if I click in here in these three dots again, I can save that video. I can share a link to it. I can email it. If I click here, I can go ahead and save it to my camera roll or text it. So you always have that option as well.
Lexi, when we talk about the sharing mode, would we be able to also share? You had that reference content where I could see we could put in the chi running, chi walking technique, and we can also put in some drills that we do. And say like a particular drill would work well with client A. Are we able to share that then, or how would we actually go about sharing that?
Yeah, so there's a few things. You guys, if you have your own kind of reference folder that you already use, you could always create a team and just, we can say these are our example videos. And you could just use this for yourself and import all of the videos into that team. And then when you want to share that with a client, you can just select from the team and share it. But there's also the reference content would work that same way for you. The only thing with the reference content is that it's private, so you can't share the whole folder with anybody. Like nobody else can be added into that folder, but you can always grab videos from reference content and send them somewhere else. So I could press share and I could share that to a team. But essentially, the teams allow for you to have other people in there, and same with the individual libraries versus reference content is kind of like your own area.
Okay, so can we make then what you're saying, if I heard it correctly, or the best way for us to do this, and please tell me if there's even a better way. We can go chi running, the team as chi running. We could put in different videos of the technique and then videos of drills, and then have that open to, let's say we've got Michael, we got Danny, Cheryl, Ken, Gary, Trent, everybody that say, and Seth and Hazel. I didn't mean to have Desh, I didn't mean to drop anybody off, but put all of those people, then as long as we're members on with Onform, that they can all get a chance to, hey, wait a minute, my client can utilize this, so they don't have to go out and reduplicate something that every 9 out of 10 of us are going to have to use or could
Yeah,
use.
Yeah, so if you each are on a coaching account, you'll have the ability to, so somebody could create the team, Vince, you could create it. And then basically you can send a bulk invite out to everybody at Chi Running. And they'll just go, as a coach, you can go ahead and accept invites as well. So you can see it's generating that invite. You could send that to everybody, they'll accept it, and then they'll see that team.
Okay.
So that should work just fine. I'm personally in tons of different teams. Some I've created, some other people have created. So you can see everything in here. You'll just have an extra team in there, and it'll be that chi running technique folder.
And then,
So,
sorry, I was like, if I could just ask, so I'm understanding correctly, if Vince sets that up and he's got technique A, B, and C in there, I could take technique B because that's what my client needs and share technique B with that client. Say when you go do what we run today, focus on this portion of the technique.
Yeah. So if let me pop into, let's see, this team. If I select, let's say this is technique A, I can share. And then if I click show everyone, I can go select who I want to share that with. So if I want to go share that with maybe an individual, I can click on them. You could also copy the files. So if I select the two and I press more, you could copy them. I would just make sure not to move them because then it's going to be moved for everybody. But you should be able to copy or share them, yes.
So you can be both a coach and a client in somebody else's universe. Like all these universes can connect together.
Yes, yeah. So I'm technically a coach, but currently I'm being coached as an athlete. So somebody else actually, let's say they set up this team. So this is kind of what it would look like. It's me and my coach, and this is my view. I have my library and I have our chat area. So that's kind of what that would look like for you. You would be invited by somebody else, but you could also have your own teams that you've created or workspaces.
Hey, Lexi, before I forget, I know this is being recorded. How do we share this with the rest of the team, so to speak, the other Chi runners that would like to view the video?
Yeah, if it works, Michael, I can share the recording with you after this, and then you can share that out to everybody that's needed.
Great, thank you.
Okay, awesome.
Excellent. So one other question, or actually two, one question, one comment. Uh, you meant, does Onform work with Android or it just doesn't?
It does work with Android. Our tools on Android are very limited. So you're not going to have the skeleton tool. And then the markup tools are very basic. There's like a circle, a line, um, just very, very basic. So I definitely recommend using it on iOS. If you can use it on an iPad or an iPhone, they both function great. We have a MacBook app as well. So if you go to your MacBook and you download Onform on the App Store, it's going to function the exact same as your iPhone or iPad. Um, and then we have a web app version, but it's Android based. So it's going to be the same where it's limited. Um, so I would definitely recommend iOS, but it can be used on Android. And your clients and athletes, if they have Android, it's totally fine. They can still record and share videos with you and things like that.
Great. Geez, thank you very much. My other comment is, please feel free to refer Sammy to anybody that's on this link. We can all see that she can use some of our assistance.
To Perfect.
Striker.
Awesome. Well, I will send you, Michael, a recording of this afterwards. And then if anyone has questions, you have my email. It's lexi@onform.com.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much, Lexi.
Thank you.